I'm going to start recording, and let's get wild.
Coming through.
Yep. I'm just going to go straight to this thing because we've had both these gentlemen on before. That's why it's dark right now. But we have Dr. Rommie Maxey, the R.W. Rick Witsken, and me, myself. I have a quick question for you guys real quick. Which is better? I think we should change this to the Rommie and Rick show. What do you think? This right here? Could it be the Rommie and Rick show?
Rommie and Rick show. I think so.
Rommie.
Where you at, Curtis? We can't see you.
You can't see me? I can see myself. You can't see me right now?
No, we can't see you though.
Oh, crap.
I can see half of your face.
Really? How's that?
More.
There?
Oh, you're getting better.
Keep going.
Are you
A
Oh,
bit more right
It's-
now.
There you go. Hold on, let me get that
Keep
out
going,
there.
keep going, keep going. We want to see all of you. Keep going. Rotate some more. There we go. Now you're on. Oh, he went. There you're perfect.
Is that me?
Whoa, right there.
You can really see me?
Yep. We got
All
you.
right. This is how we're doing it. So let's catch up with these guys. Okay, going back to my first question. Rich and Rommie show, Dr. Rommie show, or Rick show, or the Pacers in the NBA Finals? Which one do you like better?
We work well together. We take leads off each other.
Oh, you guys are nuts. All right.
you
tell
know what, Curtis? I just did a camp on Saturday, and this is in Indianapolis, actually.
Mhm.
And I played the Indianapolis Pacers, whatever that song is. And it was that song, all I do is win,
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 win. What you got? And we say that, and we say that. Anyway, so they were like going crazy with that. So, yeah.
And also,
Go Pacers!
how about
Yes.
how about Ben Shelton, your nephew?
Woo! I was running a tournament
Yeah.
when I wasn't doing my camp,
French
and I
Open.
had a kid that had streamed the match while Ben's playing Alcaraz, and I'm like trying to send kids out on the court and then get a peek at that tiebreaker, and he's up 6-4 in the first set. I'm like, gosh darn it, you win one of those tiebreak points.
Uh-huh.
He won the third set,
Yep.
and like, let's face it, Alcaraz is killing everybody
Yeah.
but Ben,
Yep.
and it's Ben's worst surface. So I'm really, really proud of that young man. And
You
his
should
mom's
be.
coming. Actually, his mom just flew in today, and she loves pickleball.
Thank
Lisa
goodness.
Shelton,
Thank
let's
goodness.
go.
Oh, you're crazy. All right, so update us, guys. What's going on with the National Pickleball League? For those of you who don't know, it's 50-plus young men and women like ourselves here who have the option to play on a team format, and they're some which will soon to be former MLP players. But give us an update one at a time and tell us what's going on. Thanks.
Go ahead, Rick.
Okay, well, obviously, Rommie an owner, or me a co-founder and a player. Yeah, I feel indebted to the NPL because it nurtured a relationship with Rommie, and I care very much about him. And we got to do a camp together. And I start off with the relationship side of things, Curtis, because really, for the 50-plus crowd, it's really cultivated not only friendships like Rommie and I have, and I met his son and did a camp with his son, and that was beautiful. But it also nurtures potential partnerships for gender doubles, mixed doubles. And I was just asked by a woman that I had never met before to play in a tournament PPA. And like, I'm glad she asked me. You play in the NPL, and you're near and dear to my heart. And she's fairly unknown because she's 49, but I saw her playing, like, man, she's tall, she's athletic. Like, yeah, I think I would play with this lady. So it's a beautiful thing. Obviously we got new teams into the third year. There were a lot of interesting side bar or just kind of side stories to who finished first, second, third out of 12. But I'll let Rommie chime in so I don't, monopolize this conversation.
It's your segment, guys. Say what you want about the side cut. Say what you want. It's yours. Let us know what's up. Some of these side chats if you can, or whatever you guys want to talk about. Go for it.
I think part of the beauty of it this year, to some degree, is the parity. There was 2 or 3 or 4 fairly dominant teams last year, to some respect, but this year it's up for grabs. I mean, literally any 12 teams could be a surprise, or not necessarily a surprise, but there's just a tremendous amount of parity in the league this year. I think anybody can win, and which makes it fun every week for all the teams to go and battle, and because you can't predict a winner right now. There's no one that can predict a winner out of the NPL at this point, which is fun for everybody. I think it just creates a different vibe and an interest in the entire program.
Hey, I need you guys to look up the line in Vegas for the NPL championship. All right.
It's so funny, Curtis, is that so I play for Seattle Tsunami. James Main is our GM.
Yeah, man, I dropped the ball on him. Keep going.
Well, before the season started, he asked Chat GPT what they thought the rankings would be preseason for the NPL. And I'll be darned if the teams that I had in the top 5 weren't exactly what Chat GPT thought the top 5 teams were. So that was insanity. But, to talk about the vibe, I have to give mad props to Kim Jade, because I played in the exhibition that Kim and James Main worked on, more Kim than James, but Coachella Valley Scorpions played the Seattle Tsunami, and it was at a concert hall the Thursday before that Saturday when playing matches, and we had an exhibition where it was 2 men, 2 women from each team playing in gender doubles, and then there was a team breaker, and then there was also a match with the local police chief and fire chief. And it was in a concert venue. It was sold out. 500 people bought tickets to watch us. Yes, I kind of was one of those characters playing on that doubles match, trying to be a major performer. Shout out to Marcin Ruspetsky. He was kind of my sidekick from the Coachella team. He did a great job being full of personality. And I mean, who would have thought in year 3 we'd be selling out a concert venue just as an exhibition leading up to opening weekend? It was unbelievable.
Wow. So was that a venue, an actual concert venue that was?
It was inside of the Agua Caliente Casino.
Oh my
So these people are coming in half liquored up, half rich, half poor.
More
and
poor.
Then watching, and we more poor. And then we put paddles in their hands and on this, rollout cord. We had all of them there doing some tactile tried experiences and, dinks and drops and all that stuff. And then they went to their seats and we put on one heck of an exhibition. It was awesome.
They went to their seats and started throwing out chips for bets. Like, hey, let's go. I got this team. No.
Yeah. Curtis, you should go to Agua Caliente to get the NPL line for the rest of the season champions.
I gotta get my new gig going more and more and get residual income going here. I'll be able to do some of that stuff for fun. So tell me about so what are the new teams? What teams did you add? Someone's asking.
We added 0 teams, and we had many teams interested, but the reality was we kind of had to reset our organization from our board perspective. We put some team owners on the board. We navigated some beautiful changes. We navigated regionalization, where players are playing mostly, at least top players are playing in a market close to where they're at and where their team is cultivated. So that was a beautiful thing. We also have players that are kind of top players that are West Coast, play more on West Coast teams where they don't have to fly so far. If they don't get right in their hometown, at least they don't have to fly so far in East Coast as well. So changes, but no new teams, but certainly new players like me on a new team. And, I will tell you, as awesome as the parity was, and like we had it at 2 locations. So we have 6 teams in the East, 6 teams in the West, and that went very well. We had great responses from all of our players. I will say the one kind of gray area is Paddlegate.
Okay, what's that?
So,
tell me what that is. Paddlegate.
Well, I mean, Romy knows, but
I get it. Okay.
I mean, where the paddles are going with the carbon, and I've been educated by a few manufacturers that foam layer of an inch at the top of a paddle can really have call it delamination, or I think it's called something else at this point, but it just, I don't think anybody did anything wrong. It's just some guys are using and women are using really hot paddles. And, we obviously have a list of what's acceptable and what's not. I just think everybody wants, in general, paddle, just the whole testing to be more well-defined. And it's not NPL's fault. Heck, I played in New York City 2 weeks ago, and my paddle was tested before the first round, before the semis, before the finals. But I do know there's some new equipment coming out that will help streamline this. But Romy, I don't know how you feel about paddles and their technology and where they're at right now.
Well, it's just, I see it every day. Of course, and obviously even in recreational play, people are coming out there with paddles that are extremely hot. And so your teaching style, even with training people, has changed. It's more defending the drives, more being aware of your surround. The third shot drop is a thing of the past.
Exactly.
It's a fifth shot drop maybe, but mostly off the drive and then to a fifth and all that. So your teaching styles have changed, and the paddles have done that. going back to the new teams now, all I can say about the new teams deal is there was a couple of new teams that were interested, and they had them call me, and I talked to them, and I had them sold at the time. I don't know what happened after that, but just I'm kidding, Rick. So there, I think there's going to be strong interest coming in next year for some new ownerships, because there was some excitement last year, and I actually look for those people to come back around, and maybe even some more folks to be involved. And I think internationally, I think NPL is going to be considering going international before too long, and that's going to be kind of an exciting deal. I mean, I've been working with Vietnam here recently as an example. I just certified a number of coaches in Vietnam. It's growing so fast there. So I think there's such a vast area that this thing can go in a lot of different ways. And I know Rick's got some new ideas and things. I don't know if we want to introduce them today, but they're still, just everything's growing and getting better and stronger. And I think the teams are starting to realize how they can monopolize off the clubs a little bit, and their own combines and their own sponsorships and different things. And so the league's going to continue to grow. I mean, everybody turns 50 sometime, right?
I already did. Thanks, man. I'm turning 51 this year. So, here's what's cool about this, and I got to tell these guys this. Some of these new people, I don't even know who they are. But anyway, I they don't understand my sarcasm. I was kidding.
I do.
Yeah, I know you do,
it.
Potato. But when I first, Rommie, Doc, I don't know if I saw you this, Rommie, when I first called Rick 3 years ago. God, I got his number from Craig Bell. Love you. Shout out to Craig Bell. He's in Utah now. He goes, call this guy Rick Witsken. I'm like, who's that? Because I've known Craig since 1998. He's just a mentor and a friend. And he goes, just call him. He's doing the National Pickleball League. I'm like, what's that? He goes, just call him. I was like, okay. So I call him. Rick goes, I'm in the middle of shoveling, 8 feet of snow. And I was like, I get off the phone. I go, this guy's a jerk, man. He's blew me off for shoveling snow, man. What? So I look at the news, Weather Channel. I'm like, oh, shit, he wasn't lying.
Yeah,
he
total blizzard.
And then he called me. We talked the next day. And then the other one's Mark Milner. He was another one. And you're the only tough. I tell Mr. Man I apologize. I keep on missing him. Anyway, tell him I'm a good dude, Rick. Please. Because I tried to get him on.
And you're not the first guy that thought I was a jerk before you actually got to know me. So I take a lot of bullets, so it's okay. I got a bulletproof vest, baby. I'm like Tyrese Halliburton. Overrated? Maybe not. Maybe not. But I did want to say about Rommie. Rommie's been such a great ambassador.
Yes.
There's no doubt that he's connected potential owners to teams, and we have a list of 13 strong going into next year.
That's awesome.
Detroit's almost a done deal, and I'm certain our goal of selling 4 teams will be met easily for 2026. But at Rommie's facility, we've had a combine, we've had the actual league match last year.
Mm-hmm.
So Rommie's a really big part of this.
Yes.
I think Rommie's a good assessor of talent. Okay. So I think any team that uses Rommie's observations is wise to do that, because Rommie was in this, Curtis, from the day you called me. Rommie was into believing in the NPL.
I believe
and
that.
Where we are now, these teams are doing impressive things, whether they're hosting their own exhibitions or having their own pre-combines. Now they're kind of, like Rommie said, they're now creating their own business and fishing for themselves. And it's a beautiful thing. And it helps us do things like an international expansion. We're going to have some beta events towards the end of this year.
Wow.
And going into next year, I can't be real specific about what we're adding, but it's going to be impressive, and I can't wait.
Well, you guys always have a spot in the show. It doesn't matter anytime, anywhere, except, So here's my introduction to Rommie. I drive to Houston Yacht Club for, I'm trying to establish some rapport down there with them. I drive 4 hours, and I got a little break, and I call Rommie Saturday morning. I'm like, hey, I'm in Houston. He's like, all right, we won't come by. He sends me the address. I come by. He's like, only like 15 minutes. I was like, I walk in there. I meet Hal Martin, the other co-owner of the Pickleball Country Club. Is that right?
Correct.
And he walks in there. I see him, and he goes, hey, you know what this guy did to me and Rick? And Hal goes, what? He canceled on us. I go, wait a minute. That's not fair. I didn't do it on purpose. I got a new job I didn't expect to have. And so anyway, he that's how it is. So you guys are kind of similar in that sarcastic way.
Yeah. So that's actually how I introduced you.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy that canceled our show the other day, twice.
Twice. I know. I'm sorry. Oh, well, whatever. Screw that. So
he gets another little gig job, and then he just starts blowing us off.
Oh, shit. That was shut up. Anyway, So tell us about I want to know about. Okay, let me get this out to get in trouble here. Are you guys trying to get an MPL in regions like you have an East and a West? Will there ever be a Central or something like that, or do you see that happening?
Well, I'll say this.
Yes.
We know the 12 cities we're at.
Yes.
If I was New York City, LA, Las Vegas, Chicago. If I wasn't a co-founder, I'm telling you, I would make sure I got part of a team in those regions. Those are hot markets and they're big markets and getting sponsorships and whatnot. I can see those coming down the pike. We do have a couple of those that I just listed are
That's great.
sniffing and smelling the NPL.
They'll do it, man. They're nuts if they don't. So another thing I want to ask you guys is, do you guys going to have like national coverage, like similar to MPL, which unfortunately really isn't seen on the smaller basic stations, which is good. Will you guys be on the TV like at ESPN 30 or something like that?
Our live stream has been on Baller TV, and then the NPL YouTube channel.
Okay,
I can tell you that every match is being streamed.
Okay,
and it's kind of really cool, the new technology. I'm probably going to botch the pickleball teams, PT something technology.
Yes.
We can see, like I literally was in LA checking the scores of Columbus because they were 3 hours earlier. So I could see that they're at 3-all on their team battle and we're just going out for our first match. It was a real beautiful thing. And I will say that, after event weekend 1, we don't get too caught up in, the glitches other than let's fix them. And I know that, there was mixed reviews on the visibility of it, but I'm really excited for the long term.
Okay.
And there absolutely is CC court, so center court with the line 1 matches, same, and we had a commentator and whatnot. So production's pretty good, and it's going to get better.
That's what I thought, and that's what they were wanting to know. What'd you say it was on? I'm looking right now. You said it's on the what's it called? National Pickleball League live stream. What's the YouTube channel?
The NPL YouTube, and then also Baller, BALLER TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can catch the scores on pickleballteamleague.com, and then there's a listing of the MLP uses it, and then we're on it as well.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, next thing I want to ask you is, do you guys see more MLP teams? Do you see that happening, increasing? What do you see? Do you see them? Okay, I'll just start that over. That was horrible. Shut up. So anyway, what do you guys see with regards to the transition from the MLP, PPA to the MPL? Do you guys seeing some more people coming in from the National Pickleball, what's it called? MLP.
MPL.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Are there a lot of some people coming to play that now? Do they get tired of, or just feel like they want to do something different? Do you guys have players coming in?
Well, for me, there's just this tremendous gap between 35, 36-year-old who's basically done as far as professional pickleball is concerned. I mean, there might be a few that can hang on a little bit longer, but that's pretty much it. You've got a 15-year window before you can play professionally again, so to speak, in the MPL and senior pro events, of course. But there's a huge group of people that are excited about turning 50. It's the only sport that I know of that everybody wants to get older. And then even at the amateur level, that's a good amateur level. It's like, I'm turning 60 next year, or I'm turning 55, or I'm turning, whatever it may be. So
I guess will there ever be I guess I'll have to have this. Will there be a 40+ MPL league at some point in time?
Well, those are some of the things that we probably can't address.
I get that, but you see them again. I'm scratching at the something. I'm knocking on the door. I'm banging on the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Curtis, you seem like you're always ahead of the game, and you might be here, but not by much. And I will tell you, I have a very high-profile platform tennis and padel player that is wanting in our league desperately because he turns 50 next year. He said, "Don't you drop that age requirement now that I'm 50." Hell no.
That was the other good one. Paddle players and other players, tennis players. There's anybody coming in from the paddle transition? Are there people coming in from paddle to the?
I've not seen that so much, but I do want to tell you, the level of fitness of these athletes is unbelievable.
Wow.
There were probably 6 players who I didn't even know, but because they're 49 and they look like they're 35. It's just, One woman looks like she's 25. Like, you've got to be kidding me.
Whoa.
Get the birth certificate out.
Yeah. One of the things that we had on the discussion table at one point, we have the one person over 60 as a male and one person as a female over 60 that has to be on each ball club. So we started discussing having one person 45 and older, which would kind of bring in that younger generation, so to speak. And it was, I think it had strong motivation, and we were trying to work towards that. But then with the reorganization things, it kind of got put on the back burner. But I still would like to see that possibly come into view as an owner, because again, that just brings in that next group that's saying, okay, we got a shot to come in a little bit earlier, at least one person on the male side, one person on the female side. And I think that generates that additional, because when we had our combines, we did our combines 45 and up, our local combines.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a lot of folks that were 46, 47, 48 that came in the combine, and they were pumped up about turning 50. But now all of a sudden, what if we said, hey, you've got a shot to get in now, at least one
That's
shot.
cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of a cool thing.
Well, that's why I get excited about this, all this NPL, because I tell people about this, and they're like, "Well, are you playing it?" I said, "No, I'm not playing it yet."
They don't take any 3-0s. I'm sorry.
You suck.
Well, speaking of 3.0, the pod 3, the level of that pod, which is the lowest pod, there's pod 1, 2, and 3. The level of pod 3 is unbelievable this year.
Tell me what that means.
Everybody is good. Everybody.
What's pod 1? What's pod 1, 2, and 3?
So if my team, the Seattle Tsunami, played Rommie's team, the Houston Hammers, 2 men would play pod 1. That would be me and Brian Baker against Houston's top 2 men. And then there'd be pod 2 of our second 2 men and his second 2. So that's player 3 and 4. And then pod 3's player 5 and 6 against player 5 and 6. So pod 1, pod 2, pod 3 lines.
So there's 3 lines of doubles.
Theoretically, it's your top players in pod 1, your next, that's I'm going to say this, Rick, and I think he'll attest to this. I'm saying that theoretically because it's getting so strong, as Rick's mentioning, that there's some pod 3s, trust me, that can play pod 1s.
Absolutely.
Like the college days.
And compete.
That's awesome.
And really, Curtis, it's kind of the trifecta in regards to what we were talking about earlier, in regards to the speed and the pace. And you've got indoor only league, this incredible hotness of some paddles, and we're using the Selkirk ball, which is a fairly hard ball. So you're talking about young, and that's probably it's a quartet of things, because you got the young athletes that are 49 that are coming with all the strength and conviction and 3-4 years of training to get in our league. Holy smokes.
Wow.
You're seeing Ben Shelton serve on a pickleball court.
Jeez. Well, so what do you guys think about, like, there's the MLP and the MILP. What about NIPL? Know what I mean? National Minor League Pickleball League.
The young folks.
I'll talk about a minor league National Pickleball League.
This will be my personal opinion, but I just don't see it being sustainable at what they're paying those young people. I think when these contracts end that they initiated in the beginning, that once they end, I think you're going to see a lot of young people back teaching lessons and doing some other things, because unless these billionaires that own some of these clubs are just willing to continue to spend money, I just don't see it being sustainable at the level that it is right now and what they're paying those folks. Where at the NPL level, at our 50 and over, it's more of the passion of the game, excitement. They're not making money. They're probably breaking even at best, and maybe make a little on the end if they win the championship. But the bottom line is, it's such a passion. It's what they want to do. For the most part, maybe they've made enough income where they're at in their lifestyle that they don't have to worry about, paying their light bill of playing professional pickleball. So that's just my personal opinion, that I think things are going to be changing dramatically down the road with the MLP and the PPA things, because those salaries are just not, look at the number of people that are in the stands. I mean, unless you're filling a football stadium, it's not realistic. and they're not doing that. They're having good crowds, but they're not filling the stadiums.
No. Wow. Well, that's no more
I'll
questions.
probably get a bunch of emails on that, but that's okay.
Whatever, man. It's just
You know what, Curtis,
Yes.
and I want to just add that I'm really proud of the NPL player, especially the top men and women. We obviously have the best senior pros in the game in our league.
Yep.
And, you know, when you're not making a ton of money, the top players make a little bit of money, like Romy said, but to have an unselfishness where they want to be on a team
Yep.
and know they can't choose their partner and they're losing when they can beat possibly the two players across from them with an equal level partner. Maybe their pod one partner is a little weaker. Like, I'm so proud of the level of breadth and depth of the human being that's these pod one players that accepts that. It's not for every top
Yeah.
player, especially the prima donnas.
Mhm.
They don't love that.
Yeah.
But there's not many prima donnas, and honestly, the women
Good.
are fantastic.
Yep.
They're okay with suffering a loss for the greater good of the team, and they understand. Look, we want this league to be here in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years,
Yeah.
and be a beautiful thing. And like you said, you know, even with 3 O's and 3 F's, we can go down, not for this league, but our, you know, smaller, more regionalized league. We will grow into that grassroots for the lesser players too. But
Yeah.
at least for now, top players playing with non-chosen partner and losing and still loving it and being
That's
great
great.
team players, it's a beautiful thing.
That's awesome. I that makes me happy to hear that. I like hearing stuff like that. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Do you maybe we'll create another segment here. When? Oh yeah. What do you guys have coming up? I'm sorry. What don't you guys have a camp or something coming up in July? You want to talk about that? Aren't you guys doing a camp together?
We're postponing that until the snowbirders come back into Indianapolis. We'll be doing it at a later date right now. But I know Rick's going on an international trip. Where are you going, Rick?
Yeah.
So there is one in the end of December, and we're going to the Mayan Riviera, and that's going to be involving a number of NPL players who are going to want to train with some of the top players, myself and Scott Johnson and John Hedberg. And so that's the Mayan Riviera at the end of December. James Main is the contact, my GM. You can reach the Seattle Tsunami to find out about that. I know Romy and I did a Turks and Caicos camp, and we have a number of those people that are wanting another camp from us. So we got to find one and put one on the docket. But Denver's next for me in weekend two. It's in a couple of weeks. And I know the other people on the East are going to Boca Raton there for event weekend too.
Wow. We're hosting in Houston at Pickleball Country Club. We'll be hosting in July, the NPL. I've got a couple of international trips, one to Nicaragua and one to Costa Rica coming up in the next few months. So if anybody's interested, just get in touch with me and we'll get that done. But and then I'm also going to be at the World Pickleball Conference in Florida. I'm one of the keynote speakers at that and at the end of this month. So Rick and I got a lot of things going on. He's running Third Shot Drops and doing all the camps that he does through Nike. And so contact us, stay in touch, and we're always glad to hear from everybody.
Well, you know, it's like Rick said, Romy said as well, is like, you know, with the paddles, all we want to do is, you know, win.
Win. Pacers, baby.
We got to go for the Pacers, guys. That's all there is to it. Screw the matter.
Pacers in 6. Pacers in 6.
What'd you say? Pacers in 6? Romy, what do you think? Pacers in 6. Pacers in 6.
I go with that. Yeah. Okay. Pacers in 6. Let's go.